If you want to work at places like Mayo Clinic, Stanford, Johns Hopkins, it doesn't necessarily matter where you went to nursing school. In fact, getting a job at one of these top institutions isn't necessarily always more competitive than getting a job at your local community hospital. What do you need to know as a nursing student who wants to set yourself up for success? Let's get into it. Very first thing is that as long as your nursing program is accredited, you should be good to go. Caveat number one, some hospitals do have a preference for hiring nursing students with a BSN over an ADN. I would say look into the local job market before you apply to nursing school if you know that there's somewhere that you're dying to work as a new grad. If you're going to an accredited nursing program and you know that the hospital that you want to work at hires people with either your ADN or your BSN degree, what now? Next thing I'll say to get a job at one of these competitive hospitals is that they care less about your GPA and more about your experience in nursing school. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that they are going to take a nursing student who was a CNA in the CVICU for 2 years with a 3.6 over the 4.0 student with no ICU experience. Students ask me all the time, Anna, should I be involved in committees and extracurriculars? I want to be competitive to get this new grad job. If it boils down to it, at the end of the day, I'm always going to recommend getting a CNA job in a hospital in the type of unit that you want to work on. So if you want to be a labor and delivery nurse, I say get a part-time job in the labor and delivery unit as a nursing student. And if you can only be an extern/CNA or be on a committee, be a CNA every time. Another thing to know about these top hospitals is that a lot of times they have super high turnover, and this is because a lot of them are not union. Broadly speaking, if you're working in an area that has high union density, so a lot of the hospitals are union, the turnover is going to be lower, so the job market's going to be more competitive. Getting a job at Stanford as a new grad in their CVICU, yeah, that'll be competitive. Hopkins was hiring 8+ new grads at a time, 4 times a year. Like over 50% of the unit had less than a year of experience. Why was the turnover so high? Because it's not union. But all of this information can work to your favor when you know that it doesn't really matter as much where you go to nursing school. Try hard in school, try to keep your grades up, but that's not the only thing that matters, and get a job in the type of unit that you want to work on. That's my biggest piece of advice. And then don't be afraid to apply to those big name top hospitals. Because while it might not be harder to get a job in one of those hospitals, working in one of those big hospitals will open a lot of doors for you down the line, either as a travel nurse or for grad school. Out the Confident Care Academy podcast, if you want to know more about CRNA school, ICU nursing, travel nursing, we got y'all covered.